9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Say his name and he appears. I believe it said.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means it's a Monday. It means it's time for the Monday Nightmare Raw post show because we got to talk about a lot of Monday Night Raw. Sorry I'm getting to you guys late. It's way past my bedtime, but I wanted to make sure that my constituents were served. We did watch Monday Night Raw, and we had some matters to attend to, business matters, of course. But I want to make sure that I got you guys covered for the Monday Night post show. Let you guys fill in the chat if you're going to be here. It should really be 10 o'clock right now. It's actually 11 o'clock Pacific time. This time change is whooping my ass. So if you know what I'm dealing with daylight savings time, chime in how you would. But Monday Night Raw, I felt like coming off NXT, and before I go any further, Queen of the Underground. And I'll have some more thoughts about that on Wednesday. But Queen of the Underground, did you guys expect anything else? The mayor just has greatness flowing all around him with his clients. But Monday Night Raw, I thought we ended the show weird. I know last week we had the big promo battle where CM Punk probably crossed the line, probably a sign of things to come if we're looking at tonight's close of the show. But we started the show with the Vision, or whatever's left of the Vision. We now know that Paul Heyman is out indefinitely. Read into that however you will. The Vision is sinking very fast. The injuries to the Bron certainly do not help them look like a menacing faction whatsoever. It would be nice if the Vision and Paul Heyman's influence, like, maybe lean Brock Lesnar into this stuff as a heavy, especially since we're going to have these Brock Lesnar dates and somebody's supposed to answer an open challenge that we seemingly are just have forgotten about now since Paul Heyman's out indefinitely. But we open the show with Adam Pearce talking about the events that have taken place in recent weeks and pretty much demanding to see Seth Rollins so they can put an end to all this before somebody gets seriously hurt. Notably, Seth Rollins, who we now know is not medically cleared. Seth did a lot without saying anything on the microphone at all. It leaned into him and Pearce's relationship and the fact that everybody is pretty much anti-Vision. But this thing with the masked men, and I'm just going to call them Seth disciples for the sake of this podcast. We've seen this before. We've seen the Monday Night Messiah. We've seen Seth Rollins have a crew of people, but it seemed like he got just 100 Seth Rollins clones just running around him all times. They leaned into this masked man thing a lot more tonight than I thought they would in recent weeks. Probably at least 24, maybe I'm embellishing, maybe like 15 masked men flanked Seth Rollins before he went into the ring to talk to Pearce or listen to Pearce. And when the Vision, which is just now Logan Paul and Austin Theory, came out, he faded to black. Shout out to Alistair. Faded to black around other masked men and just dipped off. We didn't see Seth Rollins the rest of the show. I don't know how long we're going to continue this. I don't know if any more masked men are going to get unmasked and revealed who they actually are as Seth Rollins' disciples, and he has another faction. But I think if we're not going to get Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and we're going to push this further down, it's time to wrap this up. It doesn't make Austin Theory and Logan Paul look any stronger, especially without Paul Heyman's influence. And you just got to hope that what's going on, Special Little Nobodies? You just got to hope that Braun Breaker's injury can be shortened, because he was the person that this was all built around, as the person who cast the first stone to get Seth Rollins out the Vision. So it's not looking good, especially when Paul Heyman, if you want to read into Unreal and stuff like that, and writes himself out of the actual storyline. Not a good look for what's left of the Vision and what we're going to continue to do. But as soon as Seth got up out of there, then LA Knight comes out, attacks Logan and Austin. They get the upper hand. Usos come out, they clean house, beat up the remains of the Vision. And that was our opening segment. Jackie Redmond got to chat with the Usos backstage. They asked him get any words about what's going on with the Vision, what's going on with Seth Rollins. And Jay pretty much said all of them got to get got. Seth Rollins ain't safe from their wrath as well. And then they also chimed in on what happened with Punk and Roman last week and said, you know, they ain't got to do it. It's been Jimmy says, hey, maybe we do have something to say to CM Punk, and which we saw that play out later in the evening. First action tonight, there were actually only 3 matches on the card. Only 3. The main bulk of the show was surrounded by the gauntlet match to determine the number one contendership for the Women's Intercontinental title that is now held by AJ Lee. The gauntlet match featuring Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky, Bayley, Ivy Nile, Asuka, and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm sorry, I'm the law, and it's legal to be that cool. Peace out. I appreciate that, Sam Gonzo. I appreciate those kind words. Now, first things first, I hate gauntlet matches. I feel like they're pointless. I really wish I don't want them to take the Iron Survivor away from NXT. I like it as an NXT concept, but using those type of rules where everybody has an equal playing field seems fair. Because it seems like for gauntlets, it's like whoever's last is going to have the biggest advantage, and it's stupid. We don't find out how they drew their rankings, how somebody drew the shortest straw and came out first. We don't find out any of that stuff. It's just a gauntlet match, and they're pointless. I hate them. I wish they would go away. But we started the match, the gauntlet match. I believe it was Lyra and Io, which great match on its own, by the way. I wish we could see more of that. I honestly was pulling for Lyra here, but somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb as one of the better wrestlers, and that unfortunately was Lyra. Lyra fell to Io, then came out Raquel, who actually could have got a win if it wasn't for Liv Morgan coming out and trying to create a distraction, which didn't help because Stephanie Parker came out to get her lick back on Liv. Thank God you're making your women's champion look strong for a change, which caused enough of a distraction for Io to pick up a roll-up pinfall Raquel. But Raquel went completely apeshit after the match. Chingona bomb to Io Sky on the ring apron. Pretty much took her out. Ivy Nile comes in, gets a very easy win against her. So now we reset. And we get Bayley who comes in, who takes on Ivy Nile. This is probably the best ring work of the whole gauntlet match because you really got to showcase Ivy Nile, and I felt like she looked strong coming out of this whole ordeal before being pinned by Bayley, which allowed Asuka to come in. Great shot of Kyrie looking at the camera trying to talk Asuka up just for Bayley to hit her with a flying forearm through the ropes to start this match. Great match overall. Asuka thought Kyrie was going to be able to help her get the win. Lyra came out and helped her friend. Bayley is now your number one contender, which shout out to Bayley, man. She didn't make the WrestleMania card last year. This is a dream match for a lot of women who idolized AJ Lee and looked up to her for her run in WWE before. Nobody more than Bayley deserves this match. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a banger. Great in-ring work with two pillars of women's wrestling. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm glad that they went this route and didn't go to traditional like heel versus babyface route with AJ Lee because we know Becky's still lingering. Becky live tweeted this entire match in her best Trump gimmick, calling everybody wacky and saying that they're competing for a fictionary title because it's her belt. I thought that was cool. Obviously, Becky and AJ are not done, but at least you get to see AJ show her chops with one of the 4 horsewomen, which is awesome. Awesome stuff. But again, we need to ban all gauntlet matches from here on out and be a little bit more creative with that type of stuff. But I'm looking forward to that match overall. Of course, you probably saw Asuka berating Kyrie after this match. That's going to be a thing that continues. One thing I thought was interesting, before they got to the ring, you saw Io in the background looking at Asuka and Kyrie doing their little banter. Maybe Io's having a change of heart and actually wants to help out Kyrie. And I think that can be cool if that happens. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, so I'm here for if they actually do the custody battle of Kyrie, or if Kyrie finally just puts her foot down for Asuka and then something happens there. I think there's a lot of storylines they did behind the scenes that could be fun. Backstage, we saw the OG El Grande Americano getting ready for his match against Penta for the IC title before he was met with Danhausen, who Danhausen reaching out to everybody just trying to be down. If you float with it, you float with it. If not, you don't. And OG Grande got cursed before he could figure out if he was going to speak Spanish or English to Danhausen. And then Rayo and Bravo were in the background. Ryan and Bravo were in the background following OG El Grande Americano. We don't know what happened to OG Grande Americano, but he was there and then he wasn't. So when Penta had this match, he actually took on El Grande Americano, the one who's popular in Mexico. This is a great match. We had a very passionate promo from Penta to start this match, and I think that's one of the strengths that we didn't see from Penta in AEW. The fact that he does have mic skills, the fact that he can carry a crowd with his promo. So I hope this showcases more of that personality from Penta outside of the struts and the Cero Mero that we love so much, but him really being a fighting champion and being able to back it up with his talk as well. Penta was successful in his first title defense. Also of note, Penta is the first Mexican-born Intercontinental Champion, which speaks volumes of the previous Intercontinental champs before. If you didn't know, like some of our favorites like Eddie, Ray, born in the States. So Penta's carrying a lot of legacy into his first title in WWE. Springboard Mexican Destroyer, we got Big Grande up out of here. Don't like what we're doing with the OG versus El Grande because it's very backwards, as El Grande is beloved in Mexico. OG is beloved in the States. Big Grande was getting booed after carrying this gimmick for like damn near the past year. So I don't know what we're doing. I don't know how they're going to make it work for WrestleMania season, but something's got to give. And I don't consider Big Grande that has the faction a heel with how much he's carried the gimmick. So I don't know what they're going to do, but something has to happen. And they got to figure out where they're going to do the final battle for the mask eventually. We saw a video package after Stephanie got her lick back on Liv earlier in the night. The video package pretty much talked about Stephanie saying like, oh yeah, I respect you. I actually have more respect for you. I see more in you than you do because you hide behind a trashy man and you rather just be a dumb blonde than be actually a good performer. So I want you to show me who I'm fighting at WrestleMania and show me it's going to be actually a challenge that I can respect. And I thought this was a good promo. I like that they showed Stephanie as strong in her English at the end of the promo. And let her know like, hey, those mud huts, they made me who I was. And you can't take that away from me. Like you had all the best training in the world, but you don't show it. And I think this women's championship match, rather what we saw on Friday with Jade and Rhea, that my muscles are better than your muscles. I think this is going to carry more value heading into WrestleMania season because Liv was the Royal Rumble winner. You expect the Royal Rumble winner to go over, but I think what you're learning here is that unless Liv has kind of a moment where she believes in herself, then Stephanie should just run through her. And I don't know if that's going to lead to an ending of Liv and Judgment Day or what, but I like that a lot. I like that Stephanie's going to want to bring that dog out of Liv. We saw Dominic Mysterio backstage wanting to hear from Finn, asking where Finn was. And he said he has to get some stuff off his chest. So he's going to go to the ring, ask Judgment Day to run through with him. Dom pretty much said like, hey, I've been looking for Finn. It's Finn's fault. I lost the title last week. Totally ignoring the elephant in the room that he was cursed by Danhausen. But I guess many people will see that in the coming weeks. OG Grande, Miz, we'll see in the coming weeks how this curse is affecting the roster and how people aren't actually going to the culprit. But this was the straw that broke the camel's back because it was pretty much Dom calling out Finn apologizing, but saying like, hey, you should want to do things on your own. Maybe your dad was right. Dom striking Finn not backing down, striking Dom. What got me was when Finn, rightfully so, got the upper hand on Dom and was going to finish it. JD McDonough turning on Finn, which was the one domino I never expected to fall. Because McDonough and Finn's history goes back all the way to Ireland, like trained together, helping bring him to WWE, like his big brother completely. JD actually tweeted out tonight that Finn wanted to be the leader and lied to them all, and that no one person is bigger than the Judgment Day, and that he used to know that. And that if you hit one member of Judgment Day, they will step on you type thing. Pretty much aligning with the core values of Judgment Day. But to me, this made no sense. So this was Finn, just like Rhea and Priest, just like Edge, kicked out of the Judgment Day. I thought this was a perfect time to implode the entire group and just have Dom be with the girls. Dom with Roxy, Liv, and Raquel makes a lot more sense to me than just having JD hang around, unless they're going to add another member at some point. But Finn is completely out the Judgment Day. Seems like we're heading towards a crash course of Finn Balor versus Dom at Mania. But for the life of me, I don't see why JD would do that. Not because it's just Finn, but just like, because where does he go from here? Is he just Dom's errand boy? Is he just going to be the one helping Dom win all the time? I don't get it. And I don't like it for JD McDonough's trajectory. And I think they can do better by his character, but I'm pretty sure that Finn is going to take issue with JD before taking issue with Dom. So I expect that match to happen sometime this month, and it'll be a banger for sure. If you haven't seen them work together in the past, NXT UK, around the world, like, look that up. But Finn in the Judgment Day no more. Not sure how I felt about it. We had one more match, but one thing I wanted to really put a magnifying glass on was the segment we saw with Kofi and Javon Evans. Pretty much saying, I see a lot of myself in you, and I feel like you can reach those heights you want to reach. If you heard Trick Williams' comments on not the Breakfast Club, but the Ebro Laura Rosenberg show, pretty much talking about, hey, there hasn't been a black male singles performer on a PLE in a very long time, in a singles match, that is. So we're seeing if we're going to get that at WrestleMania, whether it be with Oba, with Trick, or Javon. So those things are in play here in 2026. But Kofi's saying, like, hey, you can do all those things. I see myself in you. If you just had a good team behind you, maybe you can avoid some of the things I avoided in my early career. This could be one of two things. Javon kind of said, I appreciate it, OG, but like, he's like, don't answer me now. Think about it. Maybe they push Waller out the group. We know Big E is not coming back to the WWE. We know he's not coming back at least not in an on-camera role right now, where he's the manager, at least in a get my lick back type of role for them kicking him out the group and disrespecting him all these months. It's just not happening. Bad writing on their part to even do that angle last year just for shock value with no follow-up. Terrible. So now we're stuck in this purgatory, and Woods is hurt, where the New Day are directionless. They won the tag team titles once, lost them, mourned, never led to anything else. It sucks for a faction that's been together a decade plus now. So this is like something where Kofi can get some meaningful on-screen time to maybe lure Javon Evans into the New Day. Maybe Javon Evans is the spark that gets the New Day to remember who they were. Remember the power of positivity, because that's what it seems like Javon is all about. I like this storyline. I think it has legs if they go that direction, to where Javon is that kind of that youthful voice that reminds the New Day that positivity was the way to go, and that's the way that got them their success for all those years. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that for the next coming weeks. Of course, it could lead to some really good matches with Evans and Waller for the next consecutive weeks until whatever they decide to do in the writer's room. Obafemi versus Rusev was your third and final match of the night. And Showcase 2 Titans, this was also Obafemi's first match on the Monday Night Raw brand. And I liked it. I thought it was a good match. Two big behemoths going at it. I like the fact they let Rusev look strong here, even in defeat. I like the fact that Rusev looked like he had Oba reeling. with the matcha kicks outside the ring, throw him into the ring post. But what made Oba look like the best free agent acquisition right now is the fact that he snapped out of it that quick and got Rusev up out of here. Even tossed Rusev across the ring before hitting the fall from grace power bomb. And I thought it was a strong showing for Oba, but also they kept Rusev looking strong because nobody manhandles Rusev like that. So both players came out looking positive at the end of this match, which was best case scenario. I think they should do a best of 7. I'm not sure if I'm really ready for Rusev to beat Oba or for Oba to pick up a clean win, but maybe Oba uses a weapon and that's how Rusev gets a 1-1 in the column. I don't know. Something has to give there, but I think they should keep doing it because it made Rusev look dominant in action against Oba. Final segment of the night was CM Punk pretty much testing the Seattle crowd about how that promo went last week, thinking he was going to get booed out the building. People were still chanting for CM Punk. That's going to happen pretty much in every city. People love this era of Punk. People love what he means for the title picture and wrestling. He was cut off by the Usos, who came out and demanded an apology. Wrinkle here. That Jey Uso is the Jey Uso he needs to be from now on. The pit bull, the scrappy dude, the one that's ready to jump first and take the shot. That is Jey Uso's best character work, I feel like, in the past year. We haven't seen that guy in a while. Even Jimmy being able to make sense of this storyline, being the more calming big brother presence, like, hey, chill, no, I got this. This isn't about Roman. You're supposed to be the locker room leader, and I really respect you, things like this. You're supposed to be the voice of the voiceless, but you took a shot at a person who has no voice. This is why we want our apology. And if you look behind the lens of Punk, when he gave that apology, you can see his ego kick in. So people that want to feel like the marriage with AEW was bad, that Punk is this egotistical guy who's only out for himself, you can kind of see that busting at the seams there when he said, I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm going to apologize that you guys never got your apology from Roman, that he's still manipulating you guys to this day. I thought this was such a great segment to tell that story, and really the best case scenario with Roman not being there every single week. Really the best case scenario. Using the family, bringing them in so you can have some promo segments, Jay being very upset, Jimmy, who admitted that he respects and likes Punk, admits that they're friends, even taking that shot and dropping him because it's family over everything. Now, what's going to happen as a result, because the last time these men were all in each other's orbit was War Games, I feel like Roman's going to come back and say, I didn't ask you guys to do that. I don't need you to fight my battles. And he's going to try to little bro, his cousins, who's going to be like, man, you ain't even changed. You ain't changed. We don't need you. So it's going to put that rift between them again, and Punk's going to be able to say, hey, I was right. You don't respect your family just like you don't respect me. So I think they're building it, and God forbid this has to be the main event of night 2. I don't care about Randy and Cody main eventing. Really, that should be one of the women's matches. If they did it right, it should be Rhea and Jade main eventing that night 1, because that's where all that realism and storyline could come in at. But I thought we ended the show abruptly. Punk got dropped, felt it, looked at the guys. You can see a little bit of, I don't want to call it fear, but the realization that he might be the Samoan bloodline versus one type of thing seemed like it was very real for Punk in that moment. So I thought it was a good look to make Jay look like that same rabbit energy he used to have on the mic, saying like, I need you to apologize now. This ain't about Roman. This is about our family. You don't disrespect our family. Good stuff all around. And I feel like if they build on this next week, whether Roman's in town or not, it helps keep that storyline going. And it feels more like the main event than any other match on the WrestleMania card right now. So I thought it was great. Other things that happened tonight, I don't think I don't get the feed for the segments that happened during commercials, but I guess Maxine attacked Natty between one of her promos on the Netflix feed again. So that rivalry is still going. Hopefully those ladies get a chance to handle it in the ring again. But Monday Night Raw was solid. I really think it was a solid show. I think We'll get AJ Lee next week, acknowledging her new challenger for the IC belt. Hopefully, we get Stephanie Baker in an actual segment, building off the Liv stuff. Finn Balor is back to being Finn Balor. We got the music. We got the entrance back. I think you'll start seeing the best version of Finn Balor, and he'll capture singles gold soon. And Punk is going to have to atone for everything else. And meanwhile, Seth Rollins is running around with all the foot soldiers from Ninja Turtles and masks. I don't know what's going on with there, how long we're going to do that. But I know Paul Heyman is out on this whole Vision storyline. So we'll have to see if he even shows up for the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge thing, or if we're just cutting bait on the Vision until one of the Bron Brons is healthy. Special Little Nobody says that was the most real Jay has been since the Yeet took off. Very, very true. Very good segment. Aaron says he cares about Cody Rhodes' main event with Randy Orton and WrestleMania. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be good, but I feel like the Cody fatigue is very real for a lot of people. And I feel like the way out of that Cody fatigue was doing the Fatal 4-Way. Because if there's anybody that deserves to be in the title picture, it's Jacob Fatu. And at least you could have sold a little bit of that there. Now you just might get Jacob and Drew in a match, and it's like, so what? Unless Randy going to go back to hearing these voices, and unless we're going to see him punt Cody in the head before the showcase, then what are we doing? I'm just going to be like I respect you as my mentor promo battle, and not Orton going into the darkness. And even more so, the way they are making Cody Super Cody, if he just beats Orton clean, that's going to piss a lot of people off. Not because Orton didn't get 15, because, like, who's a threat? If Orton's not a threat, who's a threat to Cody? Because Drew wasn't a threat. We haven't built any viable threats to the man. And I want to say Kevin Owens is a threat, but Kevin Owens lost like every time too. I decided like going crazy. So they need to build viable threats that actually take Cody out of the title picture, like lose clean, like not by cheating. So there's a lot that can change between now and WrestleMania, but the storylines are starting to get a little bit clearer. And yeah, I agree, Aaron. The Demon King is going to make his way back home, because I think that's the one way he might topple the Judgment Day. Remember, before Edge actually left the company, his goal was to actually destroy his creation in the Judgment Day. Maybe that's what they lean in with Finn. So we'll see. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's a little bit, I think it's like 11:30 Pacific time. So I'm actually about to tap out for the evening. I'll try to get back with you guys Wednesday for WWT. There's a lot of news we got to cover. I know Courtney held you guys down earlier with the stream. We'll all be back at some point this week. We got AEW Revolution kicking off in Los Angeles on Sunday. The mayor will hopefully be in the building getting some media and content for you guys. But appreciate you guys rocking with me this late evening. So and staying with me in the chat. Appreciate you, Aaron. Appreciate you, Special Little Nobodies. Appreciate you, Sam Gonzo. Until next time, y'all, this has been Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. I'm your mayor. This is Monday Night Mayor Post Show. Peace.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.